Thank you for taking the time to watch our recorded webinar today. If you have any ERP questions, automation questions, accounting questions, or are looking into NetSuite, please feel free to contact us after you finish the webinar. We look forward to achieving success together. Here is our host, Christian, who will be discussing how to save 10 or more hours weekly by automating collections.
Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to our webinar on automated collections in NetSuite, specifically on how automating your collections in NetSuite can save you time. My name is Christian Bowe. I am a certified NetSuite administrator here at Millennium Business Solutions Group. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via the phone number present on your screen now, or either one of the emails there, and we'd be happy to reach out to you and discuss some options for your system. So without further ado, we'll get started here today. All right, so today we'll be going over some of the benefits of automated collections, how it can facilitate your business and your collection efforts, streamline those collection efforts, and save you some time. What different areas we can automate in the collection process, whether that's talking about invoices, statements, reminders to your customers on certain things. We can talk about the different areas that we go and do that. We'll go through a couple of setup videos today. I'll show you how we basically use a combination of searches and workflows to automate our collections process to save us time each week that we send out those notices. And then finally, we'll cover some additional points at the end just to cover related topics, things that can go nice in tandem with your automated collections to help really automate your business as much as you can. And then finally, we'll recap all the points that we've covered today at the very last slide.
Cool.
So benefits of automated collections. The biggest benefit of automated collections is that it saves you time. It can save you up to 10 hours a week. Here at Millennium, we have implemented automated collections for ourselves, which means that we no longer print out invoices or statements for our customers. Everything gets sent via email on a set either daily or weekly or monthly schedule that we have set up in our system. So, for example, every Thursday, collection notices get sent out. So it reduces the time that we have to spend on manual labor in that area, and by doing that, we're able to free up employee time to go and complete other tasks. The other benefit to automating this is that clients have all the transactional information present in those emails and in those PDF attachments that you're providing to them through your automation. So they know how much the invoice is for, they know the invoice date and what it is for, and then they have payment options present in the email body or present in the PDF where they can go in and log into, say, a customer portal or have ACH information or a credit card link to go and make those payments in a facilitated way. So it'll provide them with more visibility, which makes it so they don't have to pick up the phone and give you a call and say, hey, I need to know what I owe on my account, or can you send me some invoices? This just automates the process for you fully so that you spend less time doing rote administrative tasks and get down to harder client work.
And Christian, I would imagine with that too, you tend to get paid faster as well, correct?
Yeah. So that going into this next slide, the benefits of automated collections, it improves your AR turnover. That was it's like you read my mind. So the AR turnover improves greatly when you start to automate these processes. For Millennium, the improvement was as great as 40 to 50% in our average days to pay for our clients. By automating those collections and putting the necessary information and easy access payment portals, ACH information in front of them so that they can have less questions and easier routes to pay you. So when they're scheduled, obviously it's going to cut down on your time that it takes you to get paid. If you don't have to take the 10 man hours to go and manually generate collections every week or print out statements and shove them in an envelope and send them via USPS, that'll save you time. Instead, it's instantly going off to your customers on the scheduled time or a scheduled days overdue amount. So that being, as soon as it hits 30 days overdue, it automatically sends an email no matter what time of day it is. Or maybe every Thursday at 3 a.m. you send out collections for your customers. Or maybe you notice a specific day where customers seem to read their emails more. Maybe it's every Tuesday once they've gotten through the emails for the weekend. You can schedule those on those days.
Yeah, I've
Also,
seen where our clients are used to a particular cadence where it's always coming out at a certain time. So they know they can kind of expect it at a certain day. And then they also don't get too deep in the hole or over their skis because they, can see immediately what the bill is currently.
exactly. They're able to gut check, and they have the necessary information for their accounts. They have the full visibility of their statement and current balance information. So oftentimes that'll minimize the customer disputes, which in turn gets you paid faster because customers are more likely to accept what you are giving them is true, and they don't have any issues with it, and they'll just pay it. The other way we do this is by workflow automation. So by taking some of those, I referenced it earlier, searches and workflows in tandem, that automated process, once it's set up, it's kind of like a clockmaker mentality where you wind it up and let it go. So you'll be able to let those go and run on their schedules without having to monitor it very closely, and you can trust that your emails to your customers are going out and notifying them with the correct information through the email templates that you may have set up or the PDF attachments and the information that's present in the email body. And
I have a question. My name is Joseph from Los Angeles, and I'm wondering, have you noticed that embedding a link into your invoices also improves the collection turnover or the AR turnover?
Yeah, so I talked about it a little bit earlier. So oftentimes we try and provide a credit card payment link or a payment portal within our email bodies, or we provide ACH information or a credit card link directly embedded on the invoice itself. And that gives your customers easy access to those different methods of payment, so they don't have to look around and go and find out how they're going to pay their bills, or they don't have to manually write a check and send it to you, which can take up to 2 weeks with how the current postal service delivery standards are. So that really cuts down on the manual labor side of it. So you're cutting down on the accounts receivable side of things for your customers by providing that payment information or payment links directly on that email body or invoice. Okay, so next we'll go ahead and we'll walk through some setups of these. So first we'll go through and walk through a search setup here. So I'll go ahead and play this video and I'll talk a little bit through it. So you'll notice that I'm going and I'm creating a brand new search, and this is just in a stairway demo company that we have provisioned to us. So I'll go here, and the type of search that we're going to be generating specifically for invoice collection notices is going to be a transaction type search. And so here you'll see me, I will go ahead and select that transaction type search. And then as I walk through this, I'm going to start to customize this search to meet certain criteria that I want for my collection notices. So we'll walk through a couple of iterations of this search here. The first one being that I just want to see all outstanding invoices that are overdue past a certain day. Here at Millennium, we have 10-day terms, so I would want to see anyone that had invoices that are 10 or more days overdue. So here you can see I'm going in, I'm putting in search titles, I'm checking a couple boxes for reminders and list views, and then I'm starting to go in and create the criteria for my saved search. So first things first, I will go ahead and dictate that I want only to see invoices in this search, and then I will go ahead and enter the main line. This just prevents duplicate line items from showing up inside the saved search. Then I will go and define my days overdue. So like I just said, here at Millennium, we have 10-day terms, so I would want to see anything that hits day 10 or greater. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 9 in that value, and that'll give me any invoice that is aged 10 days or greater. Then once I've completed my criteria for that, I will go ahead and edit my results column to see the desired information that I want to see. So you'll see me here remove quite a few columns. Actually, you can remove that you can select the remove all button in the top left corner there. You don't have to go through each individual line like I did here. And I'm just going to put some basic information like the date of the transaction number, who it's for, how many days their due date are they, and the amount that it's for. So you'll see me go ahead and save and run here. And you can see here I have individual lines where the document number shows up, who it's for, how many days overdue, and what the amount is. And you notice there's no duplicating document numbers going down the side there, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio for each line on this search. And this search, we'll get to what this is going to be used for in a couple slides. We'll be using it in our workflows for a generic overview. So now I'm going to go ahead and create my different variations of my search to be used for my AR aging. So oftentimes companies have rules of when a client goes 30 days overdue, 60 days overdue, or 90 days overdue, we'll go ahead and put those into search formats. So here I'm going to go, you can see I only want to see days overdue between 9 and 30, meaning I only want to see 10 to 29. And so that would be all of my, for Millennium, my essentially level 1 dunning letters. So these would be people who I'm just giving a gentle reminder to, letting them know, hey, your invoice is slightly overdue. Just letting you know here's the information for payment. I'll then go and create my second level of search, dunning level 2, and I'll go ahead and put that for 30 to 59. That way it shows it's actually going to be 29 to 60 here. You'll see me change this here in a second. That way it covers my full 30 to 59. This will be dunning letter 2, basically saying, hey, your invoices are quite overdue. Please submit payment as soon as possible to avoid having your account go on credit hold or something like that. And that can all be generated through email templates. And finally, I'll do my 60+ search here, which will be used in the workflow in a couple slides. And this one will be the final notice of, hey, your account is seriously delinquent. Your account is on credit hold until your outstanding balances have come current. And so each one of these searches, you can see that as I went through them, I got different totals in that top right corner, and the days overdue amounts were within those ranges that I defined. So we'll go ahead and move on to some of the scheduling of these searches. So on our next tab, we will go through how we go through these and create automation schedules for these. So there's 2 different ways we can go about this. We can either create an automation schedule from the email search itself. And so if you were going to create emails directly from the search, this would be a use case for prompting your customers on a specific day that they hit when they go overdue. For example, if they needed to get notified as soon as it hit 30 days overdue, you would generate those emails and notices directly from the Save search instead of using a workflow like we're going to cover a little bit later in this presentation. So you'll see me go through here. I went over to my email tab. I said, I want to send an email when records are created or updated. In this case, it's only going to be created. And what that is whenever a transaction gets added into this search, it will go ahead and send an email to whoever the owner of that transaction is. So if I had an email for a specific customer, it's only going to send that one specific line to that customer with the desired email body that I'm typing out here and subject line. And then I will go ahead and include how I want that information to be passed along to my customers. So you'll see after I finish out typing this email, I'll go ahead and go down to the summarized results section and say send as a PDF. And this will basically just send them one email at a time saying, whenever this hits 30 days, it sends them an email. Whenever it hits 60 days, send them an email. And that would be a use case for sending it based on days overdue as opposed to sending it on a specific date or time. So as I finish up this email, you'll see, and any information that gets printed in the email prints out below that in this introduction field that I'm currently typing into. So we'll just give me a second to go ahead and finish up typing this information for the email. And you'll notice in the subject line, I have a bracketed statement there. That's you can actually link your transaction information directly into your emails to show what invoice numbers, amounts, things, days overdue. You can link all of that information directly into your email body or subject message. And finally, we'll go ahead and set a schedule for this. I said we could do this as a weekly event. We can do this as a daily event. We can set this as an hourly event if we really wanted to. And that way we could send updated notices for those that are entering this search as they're happening live. Okay, and now we will go ahead and we will look at the workflow case for this. So this would be a case where you would send all of your collections 1 day a week, or maybe bi-weekly or monthly. In this case, you would go through and you would just set up a workflow that attaches to those saved searches that you created. And what this will allow you to do is target saved searches, target specific emailing rules, email templates, and go about it that way. So here we'll go into the workflow area. You'll see me start to go through some basic setup of the workflow. Here, I'll go ahead and give it a name. I'll give it a record type, which in this case is going to be transactions. Our transaction search is for invoices. If you were to be doing this for statements, I know I referenced automating statements earlier. You would create a similar saved search, but it would just be for a customer type, and you would put in your related fields like days overdue, balance overdue, things like that. You would go through that process and you would create a similar workflow, except it would be for a customer type instead of a transaction type. So I'll go here and I'll give a description to what this workflow is going to do. I'll tell you how it's going to be running and executing, and if I want any logging to be associated with it. I'll then go ahead and attach this to a schedule. And so this is where our first parent save search comes into play. You'll notice that I have a save search there that has a label all next to it. That is showing all of my overdue invoices regardless of their date. As long as it's over 10 days, it'll show there. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And this opens up all of those transactions within that save search to be utilized in any action that I add into this workflow. I'll go ahead and set up my schedule. I'm going to be sending this every week. I'd like it to send every Wednesday, maybe, and I'd like it to send at 12 a.m. every Wednesday. I'll go ahead and save the generic information for this workflow. Now I will proceed through setting up multiple actions in this workflow. The action that you're going to be using in this workflow is a send email action to send those notices to your customers. We will go ahead and select when we would like this to trigger. It's going to be on a scheduled time of day, and we said it's going to be 12 a.m. So we're going to go ahead and set that to run at 12 a.m. We're going to set the save search condition. So for each action, this is where I'm going to define my 10 to 30, 30 to 60, 60 plus notifications. So you can see here I connected a search for my 10 to 20. I'm going to go ahead and set some conditions for this. Maybe that I need to have, maybe I have additional emails that need to get sent out to my customer. Maybe they have 4 people that need to go to it. I'm going to set a condition that makes sure that those emails are populated and ready for use on this record, and to not process if they aren't, because it'll error out in your system. I'll go ahead and set up my sender information, my recipient information, and who I'm going to be CCing on the document. In this case, I'm going to source the custom field that I created for multiple emails on a customer record. I'll go ahead and set my template, Dunning level 1, and then I'll set how the transaction information is going to be displayed to the customer. And here I'm going to say include it, and include it as a PDF. So that's the first send email action that I created. We're going to go ahead and now create a second send email action. You can create these as individual workflows if you'd prefer, or you can create them all within the same workflow as long as they are scheduled. It doesn't matter that they are sending to different types or using different searches as their conditions. You can go ahead and use those. So here you'll see me go ahead and set the condition again to go and check the additional emails for our customers. And so here I'm setting the opposite of what I just did. So I'm going to go ahead and set my 10 to 29 again. And basically what this is if you have a singular recipient for these emails, it'll go ahead and register that and make sure that it's only sending to the one person. It'll make a check that the additional email fields are empty. And if they're not empty, it'll go ahead and use that other action that we had previously set up to send it to the multiple people at a time. And here you see me type into the CC field. That's a mistake. It should not be typed into. We're going to leave it blank in most cases. We're going to go ahead and select our email template and how we handle the transaction again, and we'll hit save. As you walk through this process, you're going to create multiple send email steps for each layer that you would like to send dunning letters or collection notices at. So if you would like to send them at 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and you have various searches associated to that, you will be creating 2 actions each, one for your multi-recipient notices and one for your singular recipient notices. But once again, all of these can go into the same workflow. So here you'll see me walk through this again. I'll go through the schedule, the time of day, going through the save search conditions, as well as the conditions for the additional email handling. And so I'll go ahead and set it for my next tier of dunning letters, which is the 30 to 59. I'll set my time of day. And I'll go through this process once again of setting the sender, recipient, the content information, how the attachments are added into the email. And we'll repeat this step as many times as we need to. So you'll see me run through this another 3 times as we go through this. And each time I'm doing this, I'm creating a different email notice for each search that I have. So that email template would have stronger verbiage for your collection notices. And we're not going to cover how you go and create those today, but you can create various email templates with inside of NetSuite to go and attach to these automated notices. Okay. And so that's the end of that video. And now we'll move on to some of our additional points here. So some additional points we have are dashboard alerts. So a lot of this information about collections or AR aging can be present on your dashboard. And what that means is you have your NetSuite home screen. When you log in, you can see open invoices, delinquent invoices, things like that. So you can see here on this top section, I have an area that says invoices overdue versus open invoices over 10 days. So maybe you have multiple customers that you have agreements to have 30-day terms, but you want to see how many customers on average leave their invoices open for more than 10 days. So the 69 invoices that are overdue would be anything that's 30 plus days overdue, and the 94 would be anything that's 10 days overdue. So you can have some variability there in how you display your data and how you make those gut checks on maybe AR turnover or the average days to pay for your customers. The other part of that is you can quickly access customer balance information for informed decisions. So you can see here I have AR aging summaries and AR aging details, and these are two sides of the same coin, really. They're linked reports, and so you can see there on the top section, the AR aging summary section. For Smith Supplies, you can see I have a current balance, I have a 30, 60, 90, and 90 plus day balances for each part of their open balance. And then on the lower section in the AR aging detail, you can see which invoices specifically are open and what the age of those are and what their actual balance is. So this is where the informed decision making comes into place. Maybe Smith Supplies is requesting a big order currently, and then I go in and I see that they have 2 invoices that are 60 plus days overdue. Maybe I'm going to request payment in full of their open balance before I go and perform the new project or service their account, just to bring them current and keep them on top of their AR aging. So all of these can be present on your dashboard, and it helps you to easily monitor and make informed decisions about your customers and the state of your accounts receivable. Okay, and finally, we'll recap. So in terms of efficiency, it greatly reduces the manual labor that goes into your collection notices. You don't have to devote your employees to printing out statements or invoices or manually creating emails to send out to your customers, and you can have this all be set up and automated within your NetSuite. So it speeds up the process. It saves on average about 10 hours of time a week for those employees that are going to be working and printing out statements or invoices to send out to customers. Instead, they can go ahead and set this up. Maybe they spend 10 hours doing the setup, and then from that point on, this process would only take them 15 minutes a week to go in and check that everything is working well. So it'll free up their time to go and work on other tasks. It improves accuracy by sourcing different areas of NetSuite and eliminating the manual entry step that is either printing or writing something out or typing an email out. By sourcing information directly from NetSuite, you have a database that with trusted information that you're going to be pulling from. So invoice numbers, invoice amounts, emails that are preloaded into your NetSuite CRM, all of those things can be directly sourced into your automated collection emails and or invoice templates to ensure that you have accurate information on those notices. It's also going to provide timely notices to your customers. They're going to get it and expect it at the same time every day, week, bi-weekly, or monthly, based on what schedule you put out. And they will get used to getting those statement emails once a month on maybe the 2nd of every month once you've closed the books for the month, or maybe they're used to getting their collection notices every Tuesday at 3 a.m. So they'll start to look out for those things and realize when you're sending them those key pieces of information. Cost savings. Like we said, it can save them upwards of 10 hours a week. Automation in NetSuite will cost you about a third of the cost of a full-time employee. So you no longer have to devote someone or commit someone for 10 hours a week to go and do collection notices. You can have someone set it up, you can have someone run, and then only for unique scenarios and cases will you need to actually devote employee time to go and check and see what's going on, or maybe someone has a question about their payment or wants to make a partial payment, something like that. Those are the only unique scenarios where you would actually have to go and devote employee time to those things. If you are sending out those notices manually, it also cuts down on material costs. You no longer have to buy printer ink to print out the pages or statements or invoices to send to your customers. You no longer have to buy envelopes or pay for postage to send those through the mail. All of it goes through email, and that's on a service that you're already paying for, and that being NetSuite. So take advantage of the powerful tool that NetSuite is and utilize the automation that it has to offer for your business. Customer satisfaction. By providing clear information to your customer and easy access into payment areas and or just information, it's going to give them a greater satisfaction of your business. It seems very streamlined. It gives them all the necessary information. They're not going to have a lot of questions. It's going to seem very formal and built up. So customers are going to be highly satisfied with the service that you're providing them, especially if you pair this in tandem with automated billing and automated collections. Customers really, just like you, they want to get down to the more important things, so they don't want to spend as much time on the phone. So they greatly appreciate that you are streamlining this area of your business. And lastly, scalability. Like we said, if you're devoting 10 hours of employee time a week to going and making collection notices, imagine if your business scales and you have 3 times the volume that you currently have. That 10 hours has now suddenly become, you have a full-time employee that all they do is monitor the collections pipeline. So you are able to free up that employee and essentially scale it higher, because no matter the volume that your business is taking on, this process will remain automated and send them out, regardless if you're sending out 100 invoices or 5,000 invoices every Thursday for notices. And that's all we had today. So we'll go ahead and go to our final slide. Thank you for joining us today. Give us a call if you have any questions, or reach out to us via email. We'd love to help you with any questions you have about your business. Once again, my name is Christian, and thank you for your time today.